Hello to everybody on YouTube and welcome to Review For You. In today's film, Seth Rogen and friends get animated but remain as obscene as ever in Sausage Party.
Hey, sorry, I accidentally dropped a few things back there.
Hey! I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna fix this.
The story takes place mainly in a supermarket, where its anthropomorphic products dream of being purchased by customers, believing it takes them to a place known as the Great Beyond. But when a hot dog named Frank, voiced by Rogen, discovers the horrible truth about this supposedly wonderful place, he must try to convince all the food and foodstuffs in the store to see it for themselves in order to save their lives. It should come as no surprise to anyone that Sausage Party makes history as the first ever computer-animated film to receive an R rating in North America. And boy is that rating justified. An extreme, almost overwhelming barrage of swears, sexual jokes and innuendos pushed as far as they could possibly go. In fact, prior to release, one scene had to be altered to prevent the film from getting an NC-17 rating, makes this a feature that is decidedly not for kids. A fact that some families in California learned the unfortunate way when a cinema accidentally played its uncensored trailer before a screening of Finding Dory. And for the most part, Sausage Party is typical Seth Rogen fare, and sometimes to a fault, but there are other aspects of it that are genuinely surprising. Alongside Rogen, the ensemble cast features many of his previous collaborators. Kristen Wiig, Jonah Hill, Bill Hader, Michael Cera, James Franco, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, and Paul Rudd. The movie also includes prominent appearances from Nick Kroll, David Krumholtz, Edward Norton, and Selma Hayek, as well as minor roles from directors Conrad Vernon and Greg Tiernan. While the majority of them are essentially playing cartoon variants of themselves, they still do a great job carrying the material and playing off one another. The story unfolds as a crude but imaginative satire of Disney and Pixar films, even brilliantly starting things off with the entire cast performing a musical number with all the whimsy and enthusiasm commonly associated with the House of Mouse. Recruiting legendary Disney composer Alan Menken to co-write the score with Christopher Leonard was an inspired choice as well. Over the course of its runtime, the film is relentless with its explicit material, as there's never a single minute that goes by without a sex or drug reference, violent content, or an extreme amount of foul language. I swear I counted at least 100 F-bombs in the first act alone. The novelty of animated characters spouting all these quotes and profanities is definitely a humorous concept, but the excessive nature of them actually ends up being the film's biggest weakness. For much of the first two acts, Sausage Party doesn't have any variety with its jokes, and instead becomes far too reliant on its seemingly endless cussing to deliver the laughs. It certainly gets a few giggles, but by the time the film reaches the halfway point, its sole outlet for comedy just gets tiring, and with little else to fall back on, it honestly becomes boring to watch at times. Fortunately, it recovers strongly with a third act that is an absolute riot. It ups both the energy and insanity, and both work together to provide some really hilarious moments. Most notably, one of the film's climactic sequences has to be the most wrong thing I have seen and cannot unsee in any motion picture this year. Funny, yes, but definitely wrong. Among all these absurdities and obscenities, however, there are actually some thoughtful and effective messages within the script, dealing with themes of tolerance, respecting beliefs, and overcoming personal obstacles, making the movie smarter than it really had any right to be. Production-wise, the animation looks fairly standard and unpolished, but it still shows off some nice character and background designs. According to Rogen though, the film was never meant to look that impressive, and while this is attributed to his desire to keep the budget as low as possible, it only cost $19 million to make, it certainly still looks competent, and there is a charm to the inferior visuals that kinda adds something to its satirical intentions. From the trailers and concepts, Sausage Party should have been a film that wasn't big or clever, but was absolutely hilarious. Instead, it's a film that isn't big, but is surprisingly clever, yet only seldom hilarious. Mostly, it's just mildly amusing, but maybe Rogen's unashamedly juvenile and offensive humour just isn't quite for me. Those who are fans of it will surely enjoy this movie the most, but I've still liked it enough to score it a 6 out of 10. And that's my review for you on Sausage Party. As usual, if you saw this film, I'd love to know your thoughts, so please feel free to leave them in the comments. And be sure to subscribe and follow me on social media if you want to see and keep up to date with more reviews. Until next time, I'm Chris Wing, here to bring the review for you.